hit subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bass sent you.
Spurling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas, an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father, I have black sons. Hey man, I do what I do.
What's up? Welcome everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. My man, Mr. 43TX. Look, we're going to do things a little bit different tonight. I'm going to go ahead and open the link up in the chat room because this is an everybody conversation that we're going to have tonight. It's not just about what I think. This is for all the CIA and FBI agents that's trying to figure out why they can't get black people off the couch. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat room right now. We're just going to go ahead and do that now. It's going to be a minute till I get to where I need to get, and we're going to open it up. But if y'all just want to hang in there real tight, man, we're going to talk about it. Shoot, man. There's a lot going on in the world, man. It's a whole lot going on in the world. So here's the thing, and I don't want to belabor the point. Let's start with this. We got this, what's the reality on the ground right now? But anyway, first, let me do this. My name is Dennis Spurling. Welcome to the broadcast. Let me be polite. Shout out to Mr. 43TX. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to the people on the rebroadcast. Big up to everybody who's going to come through and hit the like button as we march to 100,000. I appreciate that. We already got 91,000, so all we need is another 9,000. I think YouTube is playing with me, man. They took me, they told me I got up to like 111,000 followers, and they dropped me back down to 90,000. But I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. I like to do things, I like to do things the hard way, man. I don't want anything given to me easy. And that's why I tell you guys, only donate to my super chat or my Cash App or my PayPal if you learn something. You see, I don't ever want it to be said that I'm out here begging for super chats. I think what's understood don't need to be said. You're going to get probably the highest quality material here. I'm going to actually give you something to work with. I'm going to give you historical dates. I'm going to name names. I'm not just going to run off I'm not going to speak hyperbole. I'm going to actually give you facts so you can kind of sit back and really look at this. Any one of my little 1 minute clips is something that you could say, wow, you could take that and have a whole conversation with it. I try to give you university level or graduate level information. So, like I say all the time, if you learn something, I should earn something. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now, that being the case, family, we're going to go ahead and get to it. I don't think there's any other way I can say it other than black people arresting. I think we've established that black people are arresting, right? But some people don't seem to understand that. That seems not to register to so many people. They seem not to get the fact that we are resting. And they don't even understand why. But the thing is, it's strategic. Number one, it's not that we're not disengaged. We're not confused. We're not apathetic per se. Maybe we are a little bit. Maybe I'll deal with that. Let me think about that as we go forward. But Black Americans specifically, foundational Black Americans have made a deliberate choice to step back, assess, and stop responding reflexively to every political crisis in this country. And that decision has clearly unsettled the federal government, along with these white liberal institutions and the political organizations that have historically depended on Black people to rush into the streets whenever the systems start cracking. And what's happening right now is not a failure of Black leadership. It's the consequences of Black delineation. And foundational Black Americans have definitely delineated. I think everybody knows that. Anytime you have conservative podcasters repeating what they hear being said on YouTube amongst Black thought leaders on YouTube, I think it's pretty much mainstream. They understand. Now, that means we're no longer accepting Black immigrant causes or as our causes, and they are immigrants, and we are not. Okay, they are immigrants, and we are imports, largely against our will. And we are the foundational members of this country, and our status here is not based on entry or permission or proper paperwork. It's based on history. It's based on labor. It's based on lineage. We already put in the work. We already paid our dues, and we still paying our dues. And it's because we paid our dues that all these other people can now come through. You see? But for years, Black immigrants and immigrants in general, I'm not just singling out Black immigrants, but Black immigrants have made it clear that they see themselves as separate from us, and we can respect that. That's not what we wanted, but we can respect that. We thought they were gonna come over here and we all gonna come together and be one big people and keep the progress pushing forward. But that's not what happened. You see what I'm saying? And so here we are. It's been since 1965. It's been, golly, 65 years, and they haven't done what they're supposed to do. And that's kick in or, get in, or 60 years actually. So, now it's that time. Black immigrants have made it clear that they see themselves as separate from us. They distinguish themselves culturally, socially, and politically, and they've openly rejected association with Black American identity, and have in many cases taken pride in that separation. And that delineation is not. It doesn't begin with us. We're simply honoring it. And so the same also goes for these other immigrants, whether we're talking about Asian, whether we're talking about Latino, whether we're talking about Arab, all of these people who have benefited from Black American success and the paths to success through this country that we've cut, they all decided, well, we don't want to do those. We don't want to deal with those Blacks. They come to our communities, they set up shop in our communities first, they get loans to set up stores and businesses in our community. We pay them for their services. They take the money, they move on, and they go assimilate or get as close to whiteness as they can. I think the term is proximity to whiteness. And it is what it is, okay? And then the cold part about it, after which then they start piling on and disrespecting Black people as if we had nothing to do with their success. And that goes for the white immigrants, the Latino immigrants, the Asian immigrants, the Arab immigrants. It is what it is, okay? So I will say this to say, regarding Black immigrants and everybody else, the delineation did not begin with us. We're simply honoring your wishes. So when immigration enforcement, ICE, okay, somebody put the ICE hotline in the chat room. So people know what we're talking about. Are they still giving? I heard they're giving $50,000 bonuses now to go work for ICE, and they're paying $15,000 a month. Is that still true? Are they still paying that amount of money to go work? That's amazing. Shout out to Generation Malcolm X. Go ahead and put the ICE telephone number and website for anonymous reporting in the chat room, because I want people to know who we're talking about here. We're talking about ICE. And the Black people are we don't like to see people hurt. because we've been hurt. But we're also not going to get out there and, be bludgeoned and beaten for other folk who've already practiced anti-Black racism, our own Black African and Caribbean brothers and sisters who've told us that we have no culture, you see, told us that we're not the same. Thank you so much. Gearhead, this is the ICE telephone number, and I don't want any of you all to call this number. I don't want anybody from my page to get off the phone and report your neighbors and your friends or people that you don't like. I don't know. Don't do that. We don't do that here. Okay, let me look in the camera. We don't do that here. We don't report people, okay, for $750 per person. We don't do that on this page. Okay, we understand. Okay, now I'm just putting the phone number up there for demonstrative purposes so you'll know it's real. But we don't report people for money. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this number down, and but you all know this is serious. When they have a toll-free number out there where you can report people and get $750 or apply for a job paying you $50,000 bonus, okay? $15,000 a month. We don't do that here. All right, nevertheless, let's get back to this serious business. So again, when this ICE enforcement becomes a national issue and Black Americans, as you see, have declined to mobilize, that's not neglect, okay? It's alignment with reality. Immigration is not our issue. Deportation is not our issue. We can't be deported. Not under the current state of the law right now. We're more citizen than all the rest of these groups who came here. We were literally born and bred in this country for centuries. So border enforcement is not our issue. And this is the backdrop that must be understood, because against that backdrop, at the precise moment when foundational Black Americans, not to be confused with Black immigrants and immigrants from the Caribbean and African immigrants, we've stepped back. And there suddenly appears a group calling themselves the new Black Panther Party of Self-Defense. Now, I've heard of the new Black Panther Party of Self-Defense, and I've long since written them off. But the thing is, this fella's popped up. His name is Paul Birdsong. Okay, and to us, that raises immediate concerns. Now, I'm going to show you a picture of this brother. Okay, I want you to see who we're talking about. All right, this is a light-skinned brother from another mother. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull him up real quick. Y'all hit the number 1 button to let me know that you can see the brother's photograph when I pull it up. I want you all to see who the brother is. Okay, this brother is a middle-aged Black man, and we don't know where. I mean, I'm sorry, we see him popping up. I think he's in the Philadelphia area. Y'all might need to call Brother Umar. He might know him. You know, Brother Umar might know who the brother is. Okay, because they all from the Philly. This brother right here on the right-hand side with his little Dockers on and, his military-style weapon, walking down the middle of the street, followed by the police. Okay, that's him right there. That's Paul Birdsong. Shout out to Kenneth Will. Let me see if I got another photograph of the brother. This is also the brother right here. I want you to see him. And this is the Black Panther Party. They had a public service announcement. You all let me know if you can see this clearly. I want you to see the other Black Panthers that he's with. That I guess, I don't know how Black they are, okay? But, as we follow the 1-drop rule here in America, so I don't know. But to me, okay, to me, if I saw this group of individuals, standing next to each other, it would be questionable to me who is Black and who's not Black, just to me, okay? And we're not judging people, okay? But to me, in this photograph right here that I'm looking at right now, okay? To me, I'm gonna make it a little bigger because maybe you all will see something I don't. When I look at this photograph right here of the new Black Panther Party, okay, we can go from left to right or right to left, whatever y'all want to do. Okay, when I'm looking at this photograph, can y'all see the photograph? I mean, the link is in the chat room. Maybe somebody can see, maybe you all see something I don't. Okay, all right, but when from left to right, okay, I see you know, I'm thinking, you know, 3 chicken wings and a fried rice. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's what I'm thinking. You know, I'm thinking that. Okay. I'm thinking maybe, you know, can I get some soy sauce with that? That's what I'm thinking. I know I don't want to be, I'm not a racist person. Okay. And this could very well be a black person right here. Okay. But it don't look black to me. Okay. And I've been looking at black people since I first jumped out of my mama. Understand? Shout out to Kendra Williams. Look, and don't nobody laugh. Okay. There would be no laughter in my chat room. Okay. But when I look at the Black Panthers, the ones that used to feed the people in my community when I was a young man growing up in LA, they don't really look like these dudes to me, these dudes and ma'ams. And then, you know, we go to the right, and this Brother Paul Song, who's apparently the direct representative of the honorable, Black Panther Party from back in the day, Huey P. Newton, and so on and so forth. He looked to me like his name could be something like Mario Ahmed Gonzalez or something, or Smith. Maybe his daddy's black. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. But this is Paul Bird's song. This is, you know, the leader. And then the thing is, I find this photograph, the sister next to him with the little stripes on, mighty peculiar. Because, you know, to me, it looked like she was like working at the cafeteria, and they was like, come on in, we're gonna put this little bandana on your neck, and you can come stand with us because we need some more black people, because we need some more obviously black people. Is that a new word? Could I say obviously black? Huh? Could I say obviously black? That's what I would say. Yeah, she clearly look, and she holding on, right? She's being held there, you know. Sister looked like she was working, and they was like, yeah, come on in, Miss Mildred, come on in, and you can stand with us for the picture. Miss somebody type Miss Mildred in the chat room. It looked like Miss Mildred was just hanging out. Okay, and they gave her a little flag to put around her neck. Everybody gonna see the picture, Miss Mildred. Come on in. That's what it looked to me. Okay, and I'm not being judgmental. All right, but Miss Mildred looked like she looked like she could hit you real hard with a frying pan, but it don't look like she gonna do that work with them guns. I'm saying now, don't judge me, okay? I can only see with my eyes. I'm hoping somebody can come in and clarify to me. All right, now to the right of this young lady, with the oversized camo on, okay, to Miss Mildred, to the right of Miss Mildred. Now, see, here's the thing, like, as a Texan, when I see people with camo on, I got 2 questions, okay? And I'm a Texan by implant. I got here as soon as I could. When we see people with camo on, we got 2 questions, all right? Hunter or military? Are you a hunter or is it military? Because, see, this is when you wearing, if you in Texas, you wearing this, we know what you got in the truck. We know you ready. Now, I don't know if this looks like the type of Black Panther. This lady here, you know, looked like her little camo was a little long. I can't even see her little hands down here. See Miss Mildred's hands? And then I don't see her little hands. So it might be her camo is a little too big, and then she got a little skirt on. Like, how you gonna fight the police and you don't have a you got a skirt on and a camo jacket, ma'am? I don't know. Maybe it's the new Black Panther. I mean, it's the new Black Panther Party, so I'm not sure. And then, you know, then we skipped the part. Look at this dude right back here, man. I mean, He got the shades on. He got the Ahmed beard on going on in the back. Can y'all see that? I want everybody to see what I'm saying. You know, this dude right here. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, my man. I'm looking at this, right, sir. I'm looking at that like, you got a leather jacket on. Are you a biker? You know, are you a biker? Are you a Black Panther? What are we doing? I mean, do you have sun sensitivity? Are your shades dark for a reason you decide? I don't know. And the clear to this brother is a Black Panther, but he looked like, I don't believe it. If I see a brother doing that, it looked like he don't believe none of what's going on. He thought he was gonna be up front. You know what I'm saying? He probably like, I don't think he believed none of that. I don't think he believed none of that. Okay. And then this lady over here, you see, she just got her hair done because she knew they was gonna be here. So she got that blonde touch up. Okay. She's sitting in the back. I don't think she's a Black Panther, but you know, this is the representation. Okay. I don't know what it is. I pulled this off there. And my man just looked like he's a clerk there, and you know, he just wanted to get in. Go ahead, Phil. Just go ahead and get in the photograph. We want to air it out. So this is the new Black Panther Party here. This is what we're looking at. This is Miss Mildred, and then we have you know, all the other hosts. So that's it. Maybe someone can come in later and help me understand. You know what? I got some guys who can help me out. I know some gentlemen. Come here for a minute. I need your help because you know, my eyes are bad. I'd like to introduce you to my two sons here. This is Dennis, and hey, say hello to everybody. Come on in.
Hello.
I need you guys' help. So I want to introduce you all to the new Black Panther Party. And you let me know. If you feel safe with these people protecting you. Okay, this is not Disney. This is the new Black Panther Party. Can y'all see the new Black Panther Party? Now you all know a little history. Y'all have seen the Black. I'm not talking about MCU Black Panther. Do these look like the Black Panther Party to you that you've seen in history?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes.
What gave it away? Tell me. Let's go. Which one of them gave it away? Couple of them. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because see, I've labeled her Miss Mildred. And you know, Daddy always, remember when we would go to different places, I would always told you to size people up, look like who can fight, how many exits in the room, look like they're carrying. And, you know, so Daddy does that all the time, right? I'm judging. Daddy be judging and scrolling, right? So does this person right here, it looked like she just showed up. They gave her a rag to put on. Is what you think? It looked like to me they gave her like a little scarf to put on her neck. What you think, man? That's what you think? Now you do stand up, let them see what you do. Back up, stand back there. Don't knock my stuff over. So this is my oldest son, Dennis, and he has a purple belt. Stand up. He has a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Okay, and then Roman has a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. They've been at this. Would you all feel safe with these people protecting you all? Do you feel safe? If the police was whooping up on you, do you feel like they would? Do you feel like Miss Mildred? How about this little lady with the camo on? Do you feel like she could protect you from a 300-pound? Oh, come on back down here. Come on back there. You think they could protect you, son? Do you think? What about her? She look?
No.
You don't think? Now my man back here, he looked like, you know, he clearly is a black man, right? He looked like he a black man. Now, what is this guy about here way in the back? He look. Why you laughing? Why you laughing at the dude in the back with the shades on? And why you find this humorous? What do you think? What are your thoughts on him? I know we're judging. We don't know people. We don't judge people by it. But I'm saying, do they look like Huey Newton and Bobby Seale? And remember we saw the movie? They don't. Yeah, man, I don't know either, man. But this is what they're trying to get us to go out there and fight for the immigrant rights. But these dudes leading the pack. What do you think about it? Would you trust your life to these people? They look like they might run away. It looked to me like they might run away. But I appreciate you all. Thank you all. Let's give a shout out to my son. They have more important stuff to do than sit here and talk to Daddy. about this food. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you. Appreciate your time. You be blessed. God bless you. Don't let nobody stress you. Okay. And if anybody run up, make sure they don't try to test you. Yeah. Put them hooks on. But anyway, shout out to my sons. But I think, well, I got a consensus here. Seems like the fellas don't really think that that they are the type of Black Panthers that we've become accustomed to look through. Nevertheless, the gentleman's name is Paul Birdsong. And, as I say, and I said it humorously, and I appreciate you all entertaining me with my boys, but, clearly it raises some immediate concerns. And it's not emotional ones, it's historical ones. So the Black Panther Party is not just a name in the Black community. It's one of the most heavily surveilled, disrupted, and destroyed political organizations in American history. And every Black American with even a basic understanding of history knows what happened to that movement, how it was infiltrated, how it was provoked, how confrontation with the state was used to justify repression. So when a group suddenly adopts a name, appears fully formed and heavily armed and highly visible, while explicitly positioning itself against federal immigration enforcement, it doesn't look organic to us. In fact, I would go so far as to say it looks dangerous, especially because of the risk doesn't fall evenly. Foundational Black Americans can't be deported, but we can be put under surveillance, and we can be arrested, and we can be unalived. And we also can be made the face of the resistance for causes that are not our own, and we've been caught up into those. So that is why this moment matters, because Black Americans stepping back created a vacuum, and that vacuum is now being filled by symbolism and nostalgia and urgency designed to pull us back into the line of fire. And the question we are asking is a simple, and it's reasonable. Who benefits if Black people are seen confronting ICE? Do foundational Black Americans benefit if we confront ICE? Here's another one. Who carries the risk if the confrontation between these Black masses that you want to put out there in front of think we should be, who bears the risk if it escalates? Is it the police or is it those Black bodies? And why is this happening now after delineation and not before it? And see, this is not about disrespecting history. This is not about rejecting these people's activism. And it's not about fear. It's about pattern recognition. Foundational Black Americans are acting consciously. We're choosing when and where we engage. And we're no longer allowing our history or our symbols or our bodies to be used to solve problems that are not ours. Now, that is the reality people need to understand before we can understand why the so-called revival of the Black Panther name is being met not with applause, but with skepticism. Somebody type suspicious in the chat room. Okay? Somebody type suspicious in the chat room. We find it mighty suspicious. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, who were the Black Panthers? You all know at all who the Black Panthers are. I'm going to say a couple of names. You should know them. You should know the name Bobby Seale. You should also know Huey P. Newton. You should know that the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was formed in October 1966 in Oakland, California. Shout out to Oakland. Okay. It was created as a revolutionary organization focused on Black self-determination. All right. And I don't care what anybody tries to tell you, that's what it was formed about. You see, that's what it was formed for. And anybody who knows any Black Panthers or former Black Panthers would know these cats were serious at the time. And this is what they look like. Now, these look like Black Panthers to me. See this photograph right there? That's what I thought Black Panthers are supposed to look like. You understand? Okay, this is what the Black Panthers look like. Afros, and they look Black. They are objectively black people. You see? Look at that. Black Panther. That's the leadership. You understand? Black Panther Party. This is the Black Panther Party to me. And it wasn't symbolism. That's Huey Newton. You see what I'm saying? See these angry white faces? They didn't have smiling white people next to them. This is how the black people, this is how white folk at that time perceived the Black Panther Party. Okay? We didn't have a bunch of smiling white folks next to them. I'm just pointing out some things. Right? I'm just pointing out some things. Now, they arose because they called it the Black Panther Party for self-defense or self-determination, political power and self-defense, because it came about in response to police brutality and long-standing oppression in the black communities. At the time, black Americans were dealing with poverty. I told you what the poverty rate was in 1965. What was the poverty rate of black people in 1965? Those who were here for yesterday's conversation or the day before yet, it was 55.1% of us were poor. Okay, so what have we built since 1965 when 55% of us were in poverty? We've built a lot of wealth, irrespective of what people tell you, because at this point it's only 17%, somewhere between 18 and 21% of black people that live below the poverty line. Back then it was 55. The majority of us were poor and we had poor people problems. Okay? So not only were we dealing with poverty, we were stuck in the ghetto, dealing with ghetto problems. The police knew where we were, so they would come over there and exact a toll upon us. You see what I'm saying? We had to deal with violence, discrimination, and felt that the traditional civil rights approaches were not enough because they were shooting our leaders. Keep that in mind. All right? And the Panthers were known not only for their armed patrols and monitor police behavior, but they also had community programs. And one of the most important programs that they had was the free breakfast program for children. You understand that? They fed the kids in the morning. They just wasn't out there walking around with guns. They had health clinics, they had educational programs, and they also had political education classes. So it's not like they were just walking and confronting the rogue police officers and following the cops. See, their goal was to protect black communities while also meeting the basic needs that the government had failed to address. Now, if this young man, Paul Birdsong, if we'd known him for his work and national charity work and going around, we might go, all right, brother, we see you legit. You didn't just pop up. You've been here. You see? This cat just popped up and told us to go get a gun and let's go fight for these immigrants. Hold on, brother. Hold on. You see? But nevertheless, the party grew quickly, especially among young black Americans, both men and women. The Black Panther Party had women in it deep. You understand? They were deep. This wasn't just a man thing. You had sisters in there deep. And they was about that life too. Some of the sisters got down harder than the brothers, if you will. I actually have a photograph here. I want you guys to check this out. Okay, we gotta lay the foundation, so bear with me. All right, I'm telling you, this is gonna go quick, but I wanted to make sure you all because we learned something on this page. We're not just gonna talk. So this is the face of the sister. Some of these could have been your aunties, your relatives, your mother, some of y'all's grandmothers. This is our sisters out there and our little brothers. See what I'm saying? So anyway, so that, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Nevertheless, the Panthers also were tired of the slow progress and the broken promises. And so they actually had something called a 10-point program that demanded land, housing, jobs, education, and justice. We're demanding the same thing back then that we're asking for now, okay? But by the late 1960s and the early 70s, the Black Panther Party had chapters in cities all across the United States, and it was seen by supporters as a serious force of black empowerment. So it wasn't who are these guys? Like, we've been here, you see? So if the Black Panthers was doing something, they had already made a reputation for themselves in the Black community. So, we supported them. We trusted them. All right. Now, here's the thing you got to understand. Okay. From early on, the federal government, especially the Federal Bureau of Investigation, saw the Black Panthers as a major threat. And the person running the Black Panthers at the time, the FBI director, his name was J. Edgar Hoover. And he was not a good man as far as I'm concerned. And many of the issues, I mean, it's like the man had a personal vendetta against Black people and the Black progress. I mean, he bugged Malcolm X. He surveilled Martin Luther King. These folks developed files and files. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They made it a business putting all their business out in the street. They went all out of their way to try to make our leaders look bad. You see? But anyway, they began to. They had a secret program called COINTELPRO, and that was short for Counterintelligence Program. And its purpose was to monitor and disrupt and destroy Black political groups and that the government considered dangerous, and especially groups like the Black Panther Party. So this COINTELPRO used many tactics. They were constantly under surveillance. It was spreading false information. It was sending fake letters. I mean, can you imagine? Your wife is getting a fake letter from you saying, I'm leaving you, I'm cheating on you with photo. I mean, it was horrible. You see? They planted stories in the community, in the newspaper. They pitted one member against the other. So you had all kinds of distrust. I mean, these people were horrible. You see? And the goal was not just to watch the Black Panthers, but to create confusion and mistrust and internal conflict. And this division inside the organization, it weakened it from within, even as it was being attacked from the outside. And these tactics worked, and they worked very well, because what ended up happening, you had internal fighting increase, leadership was destabilized, and chapters began to fall apart. And the party was under pressure from all sides. The police raids, the arrests, the media attacks, internal breakdowns, and all of that fueled by government interference. And so now here we are. We got this dude, Paul Birdsong, who pops up out of nowhere. And some of you may not know, what the brother's talking about. I think I have a little video. I'm gonna let y'all see. You judge. You tell me what you think, because I might be wrong. Uncle D I'm a little judgy. Okay, I might be a little judgmental. Okay, so I want you all to tell me what you think. Let me see if I can find the videos. The man saying whatever it is he's saying. Let me see if I can get a little something popping. Hold on a minute. Y'all hit the number 1 button and let me know.
A lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing up against.
Okay, hold on. Let's get it together.
Chairman Paul Birdsong reporting for Active Community Defense Duty. Listen, 2 things that I need to run by.
And this is the chairman right here. This is the one y'all don't trust. Let's keep looking.
Thing number 1 is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for Black people. That is a lie.
That's what we're saying, brother chairman.
Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people, no matter what color they are.
What do you mean by stand?
That's the founder of the Black Panther Party.
He was one of several, one of 2. But go ahead, sir.
Said that. So everybody who's running.
And he was young. You 38. Somebody type 30. Somebody type middle age in the back in the chat room. You a middle-aged man. He was young, and we knew who he was.
Around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than Black people, don't know a damn thing about the Black Panther Party. That's the thing.
We know plenty about the Black Panther Party. We were around when they were still here, sir.
Number 1. Thing number 2, the Black Panther Party created something called the Rainbow Coalition, which is a coalition of Hispanics, Asians, whites, and Blacks from all over the world.
Sir. Now here's the problem that I have with that. they created a lot of you had a lot of people that came in that were infiltrators too, sir.
Working together to fight oppression.
Working together to undermine the Black Panther Party, sir.
Again, the Black Panther stood with the Mexicans, stood with the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans.
From a distance.
Stood with the Japanese, the Vietnamese.
The Japanese. Somebody typed the Japanese in the chat room.
We actually, the Black Panthers did a whole campaign to end the Vietnam War because they stood with Vietnam.
I'm listening to you.
So for
somebody type suspicious in the chat room. I need somebody to type suspicious. I want everybody to look at this screen with your suspicious eyes, just like me. Let's practice together. I want everybody to look at the screen. I want you to get settled in your chair. Work your shoulders in. And look. Just let's look. Can I get a See that?
For you guys who are talking all of this gibberish about, oh, you guys aren't following traditions of the original. Who do you think our leaders are? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther, right?
Suspicious. Convenient. Are y'all looking at the screen like I've asked y'all to do? Are y'all looking at this? Carry on.
Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther who walked with Huey Newton. That's
Was he also recording Huey Newton? Suspicious.
That's our leadership. And Billy J. Brooks, that was Fred Hampton's right-hand man.
And what happened to Fred Hampton? Suspicious.
So you guys you sound stupid, to be honest.
Oh, we sound stupid. We sound stupid, sir. Us, it's our fault because we don't want to go out there. It's our fault. We stupid because we don't want to support you. Then that's very suspicious. I'm just gonna look, brother. That's suspicious that you trying to shame us into coming out there. The Black Panther Party didn't have to shame people to come support Black people. You want us to come. I want you to understand. All my Black people out there, look, ladies, gentlemen, brothers, they want you to park your German car in your garage. Go upstairs to your flat or your 3-bedroom condo on top or near the high rise. Go get a black beanie, get your custom-made Italian leather coat and some black jeans, put your throwback all black Nikes on, and then come downstairs, get back in your German engineered car and ride out to some protest sign and stand in front of some ICE agent who is, and this dude is going to give you some sort of firearm that may or may not work. I'm just saying. Ladies, they want you all to come out there too. They want you to take the weave out your hair, get your afro so you can be authentic. And they're going to give you some little rags and whatnot to say Black Panther. They want y'all to come out there and stay on the front line. And if you don't, you're stupid. Because the Black Panthers back in the day would have done it. That's basically what this gentleman is saying.
You sound like you don't really know what you're talking about. Doing a lot of hooting and hollering and don't really know what you're talking about. If you watch Huey Newton's speech, he specifically says, we are not Black nationalists.
I was alive when Huey Newton was alive, sir. And, I've heard him say a lot of things. And he said, he definitely would say that, we were pro-Black and, Black nationalists and all those different, they came about after Brother Malcolm was, unalive, sir.
We are internationalists, and we stand with all oppressed people across the globe, no matter what your ethnicity is.
Even if they're anti-black, even if they're anti-black racists, we still stand with them, sir. Because we found out since then that a lot of these people practice anti-black racism, sir. Okay, Brother Birdsong.
Come on, man. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. You telling us what we're supposed to be doing as Black Panthers, and you don't know the first thing about a Black Panther.
I think we do know what you're talking about, but we'll table him for a minute. So here's the thing I want you all to understand, okay? And I want y'all to listen up very carefully, okay? I want you to, because, people understand why we, and I got the link in the chat room if anybody wants to join in a little later, because you can tell them better than I can tell them. But, from the 1960s forward, the federal government, shout out to Red Dragon, the federal government, primarily through the FBI, systematically infiltrated the Black Panther Party, okay, with the COINTELPRO program. And rather than relying only on outside spies, the FBI focused on recruiting insiders, especially members who had criminal records, pending charges, probation, or parole issues. Okay? These folk were pressured with the threat of prison or offered incentives like drop charges, reduced sentences, money or protection in exchange for information. And once they recruited, these informants were placed in positions of trust. They reported on meetings, leadership, internal disagreements, and all the future plans, right? So the government knew what the Black Panthers was going to do before it even got around to the rest of the Black Panthers, because they had people in there that were, they were working with the government, okay? Spies, if you will, snitches, if you will. And the government also encouraged these informants to create conflict. In other words, we want you to spark up the beef. We want you to spread the rumors. Such and such is sleeping with such and such's wife, right? And what that did was it escalated tensions and it weakened the organization from the inside, and it made it easier to justify arrests and raids and long-term disruption because people wouldn't have each other's back. And one of the most damaging tactics used against the Panthers was the use of the informants. And they, like I said, they would target criminal records or legal trouble. So, many were told that they could avoid prison or reduce their sentences if they cooperated. And one of the most well-known cases was a gentleman named William O'Neal, and he faced charges when the FBI pressured him into becoming an informant. And O'Neal eventually became the head of security for the Chicago Panther leader, Fred Hampton. And he secretly provided the FBI with inside information, including the floor plan of Fred Hampton's apartment. And that information was used in a pre-dawn raid in December 1969, where Fred Hampton and a Panther member, Mark Clark, were killed right next to Fred Hampton's his pregnant wife or girlfriend. Okay. And another case is a gentleman named Richard Masato, an Asian Panther. Okay. And this cat, later they found out the FBI released files saying that he was an informant. So all those people that stood with the Black Panther, all of them were not legit or had the best interest of the Black Panther Party. And see, that particular case showcased that even people who appeared committed and militant and trusted could be compromised. And federal records show that dozens of informants were planted inside the Black Panther Party, and many of them were paid. And others were pressured using criminal charges. And the federal government has openly acknowledged that it maintains budgets, especially for informants and snitches. If you got somebody who's in and out of the penitentiary or in and out of jail, there's a good chance that they are a informant. They're paid. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm just, as a person who works in law enforcement, and is close to people who work in law enforcement, that's how the DAs and the prosecutors make their case, with snitches, period. All right? So nevertheless, because of this history, Black Americans learn a hard lesson. you do not always know who you can trust. And in movements that challenge the state, even people who appear tough and experienced or street hard, or they can be compromised when the government has leverage over them. And that lesson still matters today. So in my own particular opinion, and all I'm giving today is opinions, okay? Whenever I see an organization that claims to be revolutionary or militant or subversive, okay, I notice that it's heavily populated by criminals and former criminals or convicted felons. That immediately throws up a red flag to me. And I want to be very clear about this. Despite what the public has been taught to believe, the reality is the vast majority of the people with these serious criminal histories are compromised. They're not operating independently. They are almost always in regular contact with law enforcement. It could be their parole officer, it could be their probation officer, it could be a law enforcement handler. And that contact does not stop just because someone claims to be reformed or politically awakened. When someone is on probation or parole, their freedom is conditional. That means the government already has leverage over them, and that leverage is power. Many of these folk are constantly under pressure to stay out of prison, pressure to reduce sentences, pressure to avoid violations, pressure to clean up new charges, pressure tied to ongoing criminal activity, and pressure to try to still make money and take care of their responsibilities as men and women. And in that situation, information becomes currency. And people talk to relieve pressure. People talk to give favors. People talk to shorten supervision. People talk to make problems go away. And that is how informants are made. So when I see, when I see, let me let you see for yourself.
We are not black nationalists. We are internationalists. And we stand with all oppressed people across the globe. No matter what your ethnicity is. Come on, man. Y'all don't know what we're supposed to be doing as Black Panthers, and you don't know the first thing about a Black Panther.
And to be quite honest, I don't give a fuck what the homies feel. If the homies ain't falling in line with the protocol and the code of conduct established by the OGs, then they counterfeit. You can't be a blood and not fall in line, nigga.
I'm sorry, sir. Say again. What did you say? I thought you were a Black Panther. You went from being a Black Panther to what?
And to be quite honest, I don't give a fuck what the homies feel. If the homies ain't falling in line with the protocol and the code of conduct established by the OGs, then they counterfeit. You can't be a blood and not.
So this sounds like a conspiracy charge waiting to happen. It sounds to me like you on the internet. This nearly 40-year-old man is on the internet telling the whole internet that the instructions come from the top down in our criminal enterprise. Somebody type Rico in the chat room. Somebody type Mac 10 in the chat room. This look like Mac 10. Mac 10! West Side Connect. Anyway, sounds to me, I don't know if I would. Well, let me just say it one word: suspicious. Sounds suspicious to me. You went from being an elderly member of the Red Rag Representatives, and so now you're a member of the new Black Panther Party.
Not fall in line, nigga. You can't say nobody takes orders from nobody.
It looked to me like, and I'm just saying, I'm not judging people. But when I look at people, I can kind of look at their face and I can tell what sort of stress and drama they've been through. Okay, like I can look at a person and size them up. And, I'm not being judgmental. Okay, I'm not a judge. Uncle D don't judge people. Okay, but, I mean, this dude looked more prep school than prison yard. You understand what I'm saying? The beard is too manicured, brother. Your skin is too clear, brother. It look like you put on a mask at night. you ain't the right kind of light skin, brother. I'm just be understanding with you, you know. I'm just saying, brother. I mean, you look about as hard as a cotton swab, brother. I'm just saying. And you up there, yeah, man, the homie. I don't believe you. I don't believe, having been around a certain elements my entire life. I just don't believe you, sir. I'm just not believing what you're saying. Okay. And
Because if a big homie say some shit, we supposed to fall in line, blood.
if the big homie say some stuff, we're all supposed to do it because we got to build this case for this RICO charge that you're helping develop for the federal government. That's what it sounds like. You're saying that the big homie said, you know, yeah, man, you know, I'm just saying, are you doing this for responses? What are we doing? What are we doing, huh? You're the prosecutor's Panther. Now, the other thing I want to share with you, another photograph I found mighty interesting. And I'm assuming, you know, I'm confused. You went from being a Black Panther to you know, now you are throwing up signs down there. What are you doing? You a P Stone? You a Pyru, sir? You might need to get a couple sit-ups in there too, sir. I mean, you know, I don't see any tattoos. I'm just saying. I'm looking. I don't see any neck tattoos. This guy could go right back into corporate America if he wants to. Yeah, formerly. You understand what I'm saying, family? Are y'all, you got the watch on? I don't, you know, I'm just saying, sir. You got the homie standing up there with the, you know, my man has already took some hot ones. He's crippled. Come on, sir. Come on. I'm just saying, sir. I'm just saying. So, anyway, it's a little biased. Uncle D's a little biased. When I, you know, like I said, you know, when I see organizations that have criminals and whatnot, and people that are gangbangers or alleged gangbangers, it throws up red flags. And I want to be clear about why. Despite what folks think, these folk, this is part of the game. And so when someone is, you know, properly pressured, guess what? They're going to snitch, they're going to talk, they're going to compromise. You understand what I'm saying? You got former gang members, hardened criminals, or prison-connected folk being placed at the center of a political organization. They couldn't find anybody else but this guy. They couldn't find anybody. The Black Panthers couldn't find anybody else but him. There's nobody else in Philly that you could have chose, right? There's nobody else. You had to get this guy. I mean, he's already got an occupation, apparently. All right. I'm just saying. This is the best person you could find to challenge the state. You see? And when I look at that, I don't see credibility. I see vulnerability. I see people who are easily leveraged. I see people who can be flipped. And history shows us that many of the most damaging informants inside Black political movements were not outsiders. They were insiders. They were people with criminal exposure. They were people the government already had files on. And when the pressure came, they cooperated. And that's why, for me, criminal backgrounds are not a badge of authenticity. They're a warning sign, not because people can't change, but because the system never forgets. And it never stops applying pressure where it shows pressure will work. And when you understand that reality, you understand why Black Americans are taught to be cautious and not just of the state, but also of who claims to be fighting the state while already standing in its grip. Now, by contrast, okay, before the Black Panther Party, we're gonna learn something. And I know the pace is a little different tonight, but we got to get this out. All right. Before the Black Panther Party was founded in Oakland in 1966, you had something called the Deacons for Defense. Have you guys ever heard of the Deacons for Defense? Hmm? Hmm? Bogalusa, have you ever heard of these guys? Well, what I'm gonna do is let's do some compare and contrast. Cause see, this defense group set an important example. It was the whole name was the Deacons of Defense and Justice, and it actually began in Jonesboro, Louisiana, in 1964. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll try to pull up. I've actually done a broadcast about this because, I like to give folk the history, and you can look through my library catalog there, and you can actually kind of find it. It shouldn't be that hard to find. But what I'll do is I'll just present a little photograph that I think there was a movie made about this also. Okay. And if you if you guys hear me, hit the number 1 button. Make sure you're still there, right? Hit the number 1 button. I'm actually trying to pull up a page. I want you guys to check this out. And then I'm going to explain the difference between these two Black organizations that pretty much did the same thing. Now, this right here, this older brother sitting here in the middle, Deacons of Defense, this is probably a more recent photograph. But this is a movie that they did about these brothers. It's called The Deacons for Defense. I suggest you guys check it out. It's a good movie. But for the most part, this was an arm, and they started Jonesboro, Louisiana, which is actually about 15 or 20 minutes from my old university, Grambling State University. I actually had to go to Jonesboro. And you see this right there, North Louisiana. I had to go up there to pay a water bill one damn day because they're going to turn my water off. I was in college. I had to get on down there and pay that bill. Hey, you can come on to Jonesboro. I'm like, oh, man, I'm already deep in Louisiana. I ain't trying to go nowhere else. But see, this is a photograph of them. Look at the brothers. Look at the difference. See these grown men right here with suits on and ties? You see that? The Deacons for Defense and Justice. Now, they truly were deacons. They were involved in the church. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, this is an example I want to talk about. So the Deacons for Defense and Justice, as I said, they began in 1964 in Jonesboro, Louisiana, and they later spread to other southern towns. They were formed by Black veterans, Black military men who served in World War II and the Korean War. These were grown men because by that time, World War II had been over for 20 years. So we're looking at 45-year-old men. Korea had been over for about 10, 12 years. So you're looking at 35, 40-year-old men who organized to protect the Black community and civil rights workers from the KKK attacks and these other white vigilantes. And when law enforcement refused to do so, these men stepped in. They were family men. They were veterans. They were church members and disciplined defenders of our neighborhoods. Their goal wasn't to start violence, but it was to stop it. Okay, and the way they did that, they provided armed protection for peaceful protesters and families under threat. And the Deacons worked with the Civil Rights Group. They worked with CORE. They even provided security for national demonstrations like the 1996 March Against Fear in Mississippi, and an act that Stokely Carmichael later said helped show the value of protection when police would not protect Black people. And their membership standards, this is what they wanted. This is the difference. They preferred men with military experience and good community standing. In other words, men with good reputations. So you can't if you got a good reputation in the community, you're not going to be compromised because you didn't go in and out of jail. And they deliberately excluded hotheads and troublemakers. Okay? And so for this reason, they were not infiltrated. You hear me? They were not infiltrated or turned against. And they didn't collapse from betrayal by insiders, and they were respected by both within our communities and by the civil rights leaders who saw their role as essential, when nonviolence could not guarantee safety. By contrast, when you look at the so-called Black Panther Party or the Black Panther Party, we see a very different set of challenges, especially around government infiltration, informants with criminal records, and leverage used by law enforcement to turn insiders into spies. One of the most notorious examples was William O'Neill. He's a petty crook. And he was recruited by the FBI by having his charges dropped in exchange for infiltrating the Chicago chapter. And he's the one that got Fred Hampton unalive. I told you about that. And this contrast matters because it illustrates why criminal histories and legal leverage raise red flags. Okay? In any modern movement, people on probation or parole, they're always in contact with the people, with the handlers. You understand? And when you see a young man like this, let me tell y'all a little something about gang culture. Okay? When I look at this so-called leader, let's put him back up here. All right, we're gonna put him back up here. I want y'all to let's look at him again. Somebody type suspicious in the chat room. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying it's mighty suspicious. Let's put his photograph back up here. Okay. Let's put him back up here. Let's put him back up here. I want y'all to look at him one more time as we talk about him. Let's see if I can get him on up here. There he is. Now look. That's the leader of the people of color Black Panther. I mean, new Black Panther Party in Philadelphia. That's him right there, with the LA hat on, throwing up the. I guess that P stands for peace, right? All my red rag representatives. I'm sure that P stands for peace, right? But it's the gentleman here, right? This is on the internet. When I look at this current leader, and I see public photographs of him socializing with gang members of known criminal street gangs, i.e. the red rag representatives, all right? That immediately raises questions for me. And those questions are reasonable. You don't move back and forth between being a gang member one day and a Black liberation leader the next. Those are two different worlds with very different values and discipline purposes. And that kind of sudden transformation, because this man was grown here. This man was middle-aged here, okay? And so, you know, it doesn't pass the smell test for me. Somebody type suspicious in the chat room, all right? And let me also be very clear about something I know firsthand growing up in Los Angeles, specifically South Central Los Angeles. I'm not from Hollywood, okay? I'm not from Pacoima. I'm not from San Bernardino Valley. Okay, I'm from South Central LA, the place where they made all those movies about back in the day. Okay, let me tell you something about Black street gangs in LA. They do not target white people or Mexicans. They do not target Asians. They don't bang interracially. Shout out to the Passport Bros. They don't bang interracially like the Passport Bros. All right? They only victimize other Black people. They victimize Black men. They victimize Black women. They victimize Black children in the Black community. And by their actions, they have done more damage to Black communities than any outside hate group that has ever existed in America. Black gang members have killed more Black people than the KKK killed during the height of Jim Crow. That's not a theory, that's reality. So when someone with that background or that proximity tries to, I don't know, convince me, I should say, or tries to wrap themselves in the legacy of the Black Panther Party, people who know the history and the streets are going to be skeptical. You gangbanger doesn't, this is a grown ass man. I mean, excuse my life. This brother is 38 years old. Gangbanging starts early. You gangbanging at 6, you throwing up the set as soon as you can walk. By the time you 9 or 10 years old, You've already been fully groomed into the set. Your family is tied to different neighborhoods. Your mama could be from one set. Your father could be from somewhere else. Your granddaddy gangbang, your environment shapes you. If your mama live over here, your daddy live over here, and your grandma live somewhere else, you got choices to make. And for people we used to call the Transformers, we call them Transformers. Wherever you was from was wherever you was at. You was a switch hitter. You understand? You just don't want to get caught up. But you had to do what you had to do to live. But the bottom line is, you don't just wake up as middle-aged man and decide to go be a gangbanger. And you don't walk away from that world and immediately become the public face of Black political militancy without serious questions being asked. Family, somebody typed suspicious in the chat room. And that's why many foundational Black Americans see this as inauthentic, not because we reject self-defense, not because we reject political resistance, but because history has taught us to look closely at who is carrying our symbols, who is speaking in our name, and who may already be compromised. And when the story doesn't add up, people notice. And that skepticism you're seeing isn't hostility, it's judgment shaped by experience. Okay? Now, as I always do, I got some video footage I want to show you all the Black people expressing themselves about this whole situation. Somebody type, people at POC Panthers in the chat room, somebody type POC Panthers in the chat room. The Black people have a lot to say about the POC Panthers. Y'all make sure you hit the number 1 button, make sure you can hear me as I'm speaking. I want to make sure everybody here's this. Hit the number 1.
Radar has been going off. Every time I see the Black Panthers outside marching. I'm talking about white skin bruh in Philly, the big ass assault rifle. Yeah, I got questions. I got questions, and maybe I'm wrong for this. See,
you're not wrong, brother.
There's police brutality all in Philadelphia, and I don't live out there, so I don't know how deep it is, but you can look up the numbers. It's on Google. So I'm confused. Why did it take a white woman getting shot by ICE in Minnesota for y'all to come out? Furthermore, does anybody else have a problem with the optics of them showing up after a white woman was killed?
Yes.
Black men showing up after a white woman was killed? With the events of the last 10 or 15 years.
I'm see brother eyeballs. Look at his eyeballs. Look. Black people specialize in non-verbal communication. After a while. You see his eyeballs? Them eyeballs are saying a lot. Okay, keep going, brother.
That woman was killed with the events of the last 10 or 15 years. I'm just a little confused. Like, where were they for?
Where were they at?
Sandra Bland.
Right.
Corinne Gaines. Breonna Taylor.
Y'all can fly to Minnesota for a white woman, but you can't fly, you can't go across town for your own people. I'm just asking questions. Good job, brother. Good job.
I don't want to keep naming names. I just got questions.
Me too, man.
What's the mission? And why bro look like somebody I seen in an Amazon movie? Am I tripping?
No, bro, you not tripping, bro. You not. That's what we've been saying. Let's go on to the next person. Y'all hit the number 1, but shout out to my brother, man. My brother's like laying on the couch, like, I know just what you mean, brother. Let's keep going. Who's next?
So now everybody want to join the Black Panther Party.
No, we don't.
Why am I seeing white folks ask if they can join the Black Panther Party? Because for what? Answer me this. The Black Panther Party for self-defense. Who do you think the Black Panthers were defending themselves from? Quickly.
Black people.
Also, one of the strongest tenets of the Black Panther Party for self-defense was education. The fact that a lot of y'all were just in my comments just days ago telling me that you didn't learn about the Underground Railroad, which means I'm sure you don't know a damn thing about the Sinclair brothers. Like, do y'all think the Black Panther Party was a social club and like King T'Challa is gonna come out the back?
That's what they think, baby girl. That's what they think. But it ain't, I'm trying to tell you, suspicious. Somebody types suspicious. See, it's not just me. Okay, I'm not a light-skinned prejudiced person. I'm not being prejudiced against this brother. Okay, you know, light skinned people don't really like
Black
each other.
people
Go
gonna
ahead.
stop fighting for Black immigrants who does not respect us and our lineage.
We rested.
You guys are really out there in Minnesota
We ain't doing nothing.
fighting against ICE agents and shouting against ICE agents for immigrants who are on TikTok every day disrespecting us, saying that we like fried chicken.
We ain't doing it, baby.
We have nothing, as if they know every Black American in the world. My thing is, I love the fact that the Black Panthers are out there fighting for what they think is right. But do you not understand that these people does not like us? Do you not understand that the Democrats are fighting for immigrants way more than they are fighting for Black Americans?
We know that.
That is why most of us now are Republicans. And if you look, if you think about it, and if you go back into history, there were Black Republicans. You know, the Democrats were the KKK. The Black Republicans were anti-slavery. So do your research. I'm a Republican for that reason.
I was trying to say, that's what I was saying before. But, you know, that's what I was trying to tell you before. We ain't out there. We suspicious. We at home. We resting. Okay? We not out there. But they trying to get us to go out there. And I'm like, nah, we ain't really trying to go out there like that. We not really. And the truth is, this is how we really feel right here.
Person?
Malcolm.
Okay? Shout out to brother. He said Malcolm. We ain't out there like that. We are not going out there like that. I don't know why they keep trying to get us to go out there. Let's go listen to some brothers. Hit the #1 button.
You know what? People fall for the oldest tricks in the book. And I'm almost willing to bet that the fact that they keep showing us all of these videos with the so-called Black Panthers, and the reason why I say so-called is because we don't know if those are factual people that are actually speaking or if that's AI. These people will go.
I want everybody to know that I'm going to the Shaka Khan Patti LaBelle concert, and I got some green alligator shoes, so I'm feeling good. But never, it's coming up on Valentine's Day. I'm gonna go hang out and see Patty and Shaka. I'm excited about that. But anyway, let's get back to the broadcast. Y'all hit the #1 button. Yeah.
To deep measures to get what it is that they want to get done. And if there ever was a way to have to police a specific community or to have to engage a specific community, it would be something to this magnitude. I'm saying proceed with caution with those types of videos citing that, you know, they are the Black Panthers and they'll do this and do that and do this. Not that I'm saying that the Black Panther wouldn't get down that way. That's not at all what I'm saying. There are a lot of people who would be agitators, people who may have been paid to say or act or represent a specific thing when in all factuality they don't represent that at all of that life. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of people who would be agitators, people who may have been paid to say or act or represent a specific thing when in all factuality they don't represent that at all. Okay, it's just a ploy to either have an excuse to engage the Black community with whatever agenda you have next. And that's what people have to pay attention to. It's not just a puzzle that you have to pay attention to, but it's the pieces that interlock and connect. That's what you have to pay attention to, because that's what's going to matter the most. Because if those pieces are not on point, then nothing else will be on point. And if those pieces are on point, then everything else will fall right in line. And with that being said, it would be right on point for specific people to go and try to engage the Black community, because we know in the end that that's who they want to engage the most anyway. But these specific people want to engage the Black community, and they don't want to do it in a way to where it looks as if the Black community just got picked on by them. No, they want to do it in a way to where it looks as if the Black community started this, as if the Black community engaged in this type of conversation or talk or rhetoric. And that's the reason why they promote these videos to go around different social media sites, you know, on down to the investors that invest in these companies. A lot of the times people just have to realize that there was always a reason why something went the way it went. And that's what I mean by puzzle pieces. Puzzle pieces that fit are going to interlock perfectly. And you can already see exactly what piece they are about to attempt to apply. So I'm just saying, pay attention to what's around you. You'll see it.
Yeah. We are resting. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't know y'all were listening to me. Yeah, so the brother was right. Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to this. So basically, the black people are saying the same thing. I'm thinking suspicious. Somebody type suspicious in the chat room. It looks suspicious. Hit the number 1 button. Let's keep it pushing.
My job is to keep reminding you, don't give these motherfuckers your energy. Now they got apparently they got the new black, you know.
New black. They got a new black.
Panther, P-A-R-T-Y, protecting Emma, G-R-A-N-T-S.
Immigrant. Go ahead.
The whole spiel behind that is to make other black Americans, the real indigenous American Indians, think that, oh, look, our people are going to protect them. Maybe we should too. And bada bing, bada boom. They manipulated you into giving up your fucking energy.
No, you're not doing
They are desperate. They're desperate.
I would agree.
3-Eye Atlas might bust through these motherfucking skies any day. They stopped talking about it, but the shit just got weirder. Now it's speeding up. It's doing this. It just keeps getting weirder.
Yeah,
there's new anomalies with it. Okay? They are desperate. Desperate. And mind you, 3-Eye Atlas is from the Most High. I know that. That's how I help. That's what I'm standing on that. Right? Whenever the shit happens, however the Most High do it, that's how you do it. Okay? Black Americans, my dear people, do not listen to a motherfucker. You know, these people.
Non-black members that were in their ranks, most notably was this man Richard Aoki. He was.
Now, see, your boy said that they had the president. Okay, the chairman said that they had non-black members. Let me give you the lowdown on these non-black members. Hit the number 1
Black
button.
Panthers did have non-black members that were in their ranks. Most notably was this man, Richard Aoki. He was Japanese, and he joined the Black Panthers very early. Literally when they first started. He rose to the ranks of the Black Panthers relatively quick. He became a field marshal, and he was the only Asian American to have a formal leadership position in the Black Panthers. He ended up becoming an educator in California and also a school counselor. If you thought this was going to be a feel-good story, it's not. When he died in 2009, someone did a Freedom of Information Act request to see what the FBI had on him when he was a Black Panther. Come to find out, he was working for the FBI for 15 years. He was a confidential informant. He had been telling the FBI everything that he learned about the Black Panthers. It even says, informant is a stable young man showing traits of maturity and poise. He handles himself as an intelligent, trustworthy individual. 1977, according to this document.
So you guys hearing this? This is what happened. Okay, this is what happened when we let these people of color in. Hit the number 1 button, and the link to come in is in the chat room. I'm sure some of you all are here you're gonna convince me that I'm wrong, and I want to hear what you have to say. Okay, I want you all to come in and tell me that I'm wrong about my suspicious feelings. Okay, hit the number 1 button. The link is in the chat room. Love to hear what you all have to say. Let's continue. Hit the number 1 button.
He reached out to the FBI and said that he didn't want to seek any more information for them. This is about 5 years before the Black Panthers ceased operation, so they're already going downhill at this point.
You see what I'm saying? So this is what happened when you let this is the foreign non-black Panthers that they're talking to, the people of color Panthers. So we've dealt with them before. Hit the number 1 button. Let's keep listening. Hit the number 1 button. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot to say about this.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line repair.
Now, see, the thing about the Black Panther Party, they never talked about purporting violence against federal agents. They always said we will defend ourselves within the Constitution. This dude is calling for some sort of exchange. You see what I mean?
That's what's gonna happen. They touch me. Oh no,
this reckless. This is reckless. You see what I mean? Number 1, this is reckless. Why would anybody follow this guy? It's reckless.
Armed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, fuck around.
to find out our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable.
Now I just want you to keep in mind, all of this is for a white woman. I want all you black women who are listening, that this man has mobilized the Black Panther Party to go to Minnesota because a white woman was unalived by a white police officer. I want you to keep that in mind. What would Huey P. Newton and what would they say about this? Huh? What do you think?
We hold them accountable. We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for self-defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day.
No, you're not.
But we're a little more aggressive now.
You're a little more agent filled. That's what it is.
They carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit. Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't gonna act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means them shotgun shells that shoot out of a pump, they shoot some rap.
I mean, you making advertisements for the NRA, sir. I mean, I'm just saying it seems a little too much. It seems a bit performative. Is your radar going? Where are my people at? Well, all the people come on in the chat room and explain to me what you think about what you're seeing. I got the link in the chat room. Let me know. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, but my radar is up.
If you are going to legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public is going to be dissatisfied.
No, they are already fearful of the public, brother. They are already fearful of the public. I can guarantee you the police officers are already afraid of the public. They if you have a cell phone in your hand, they will think that it is a dangerous weapon and you're about to unalive them with it. So they're telling them to be, we don't want them to be any more afraid than they are. Does this sound suspicious? Any of this sounds suspicious?
With their job that they're doing, not feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies, that makes them immune to whatever the people would do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal.
What you mean a white man killed a white one? What are you talking about, sir? This is a white man that killed a white woman. What the slaves got to do with that? Why they always bring us up?
Force. All power to the motherfucking people.
No, that's sir, with your language. You have a potty mouth panther. That's what you are. You are a potty mouth panther.
And you already know what I say, mate.
Anyway, let's go ahead and go on to the next. Shout out to the content creator there, but let's keep listening to what the folk have to say. Now, if you want to come in, you're going to have to cam up. We got to make sure we have people camming up because we don't trust everybody.
There are ops amongst the Black Panthers in Washington State. And as you can see, this is the general of the Black Panther Party. His name is Overnayo X. And this guy is doxing me, trying to claim all these things about me. And I was wondering who was going around in the community spreading these false lies. Well, it turns out it's this guy. But let me show you a phone conversation that I had between myself and another Black Panther who called out the entire Black Panther Party as ops and informants.
You just said that a person who is a confirmed op in California tried to give Addo power in the Black Panther Party here? Well, before we figured out he was an op. Wait. But suppose Addo was the op, right? And then he was trying to infiltrate as like a Trojan horse to give Addo power because I suspect Addo is the op. Oh, no, he's definitely an op.
And these are the same people who targeted both me and my pregnant wife and stressing her out. Can you please?
Bro, you a Black Panther too, bro? You a Black Panther? You a Black Panther? It's about right. It's about right. Let's move on to the next one. The brother say him and his wife.
Stop.
He's an interracial panther. Anyway, I'm sorry. Praise God. Let's keep it pushing. Let's see what else people have to say about this situation. All right, moving on.
Made a comeback and all the leftists are celebrating. Now, I know people aren't going to like when I say this, but there's a chance that this is just more COINTELPRO. Why do I say that? Well, let's start with the fact that the Black Panthers ceased operations in 1982, 44 years ago. And there hasn't been any original members that came out and say, yeah, these guys that are taking on the Black Panther name, yeah, that's us. That's them continuing what we did. No, the Black Panther Party.
So what you saying when the brother said that they're a direct continuation, he was inaccurate. That's what you're saying. Okay.
And in 1982, I suspect this is COINTELPRO because this guy, he came out, did a whole spectacle, how the camera.
This little brother looked like a Black Panther. With the afro, you look like you can be a Black Panther. All you need is a little beret on your head.
Was posing with the guns and saying what he's going to do if some.
But you don't need to. You got to. You know, you did your little push-ups and did your little online. I ain't put a shirt on, brother. Put a shirt on. Keep going.
Nobody ever tries anything, and that should have raised antennas. It should have raised antennas because if you're really about all of that, you shouldn't be putting on a show. There shouldn't be cameras everywhere, and you're just announcing your every move. When these mainstream sources say, "Hey, the Black Panthers are bad guys, look at them," and nobody's really taking it seriously, that should say a lot. If they view you as a real threat, they're going to treat you like one. This isn't the first time where you had these people that wanted to be the new Black Panthers. There was something like this some years ago, and there was another one with the NFAC, the Not Fucking Around Coalition, with Grandmaster Jay, who was a literal agent. He disappeared because they always disappear. What a lot of leftists aren't understanding is that the reason a lot of these movements died in the 60s and 70s isn't just because the government just went to take them over. It's because they were infiltrated with agents. And you know, when you want liberation and you're just accepting anyone in that says, "Hey, I'm with you guys," and they're really an agent and you don't have any idea, because the way agents operate is, you know, they're the one that's super overt and say, "Let's go do this and let's go do that," and then you give them all this information and you take it back to the feds. This isn't me denouncing any radicalism or militancy. There are leftist gun groups, there are Black gun groups out there that are actually doing real work and they're training. They're just not putting on this spectacle. If you're a leftist that is serious about this, you should be weary.
Go ahead.
I don't know what the F is going on. I'm about to show you something.
Show it.
So America is so desperate for us to get involved in this ICE fight.
They are.
That they presented a Black Panther group.
Black Panther.
Yeah, I'm about to show you the Black Panther group, okay, that they presented. That's supposed to.
And on behalf of the Black Panther Party, well, this cop is a good cop and this cop is a good cop. Once they to the slave catcher patrol, and I take it, they call the police officers now, but their name is slave catcher patrol. That's what they is. That's what they always have been. Every Black officer out there, shame on you.
You
know how the Black police officer came into fruition?
Fig Newton in the chat room.
Ma'am. Who are these people?
I don't know.
Now, before I get into it, I appreciate anybody who is trying to stand up for justice, okay? Whether they are pink, red, green, whatever, right?
You lying. I don't believe you, girl.
However,
she said, "I support anybody who's standing up for justice, pink." You know you don't believe that, and I don't believe you either, but that's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead. You ain't mean that. You just trying to say that to sound good, but you know you don't trust them people anymore. Not
what the is this?
I don't know.
Now, this is the most multicultural, this looks like the United Nations, and not.
I believe the proper term is people of color, and that's why I refer to them as the People of Color Panther Party. Okay? Can everybody in the chat room type POC Panther? Okay? Don't steal my name. POC Panther. I'm going to trademark it sometime early next week. POC Panther. All right? The POC Panthers is the appropriate name I prefer. Let's continue.
Not only that, like sis with the like striped dress, like who is she running after? Like who is she trying to fight? Like how's she gonna fight in a dress? And then she had a little bow tie, her little tie on, her little ribbon.
That was Miss Mildred. They gave Miss Mildred that when she got there. Okay, you know Miss Mildred was working, and she's like, "Come on, Miss Mildred, we're gonna give you a little Black Panther sachet, and you can come on in." Right? That's what they did.
It just I don't know what I'm confused. I'm confused. This is not the Black Panther Party. This is more like the multicultural party. I don't know what's going on here. They are so desperate to try to get us involved that they're trying to put a makeshift group together and then put them out there. Because first of all, how is this even getting pressed? Like, what have they even done to stop?
It's like an industry plant, like Sexy Red. They like trying to Sexy Red us, right? That's what it seemed like they're trying to do. They trying to Sexy Red industry plant the Black Panther Party, right? That's a lot.
ICE. Like, I don't even know what's going on with this or whatever. I can't say at this point whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats. I used to think it was the Democrats, but now it's getting so ridiculous that it might be both of them.
Yep.
they may want like a civil war or something, because this is getting crazy. Then not only that, like you see all these young streamers like going to Africa all of a sudden. All of a sudden, y'all want to go to Africa, and then they tried Sierra, then they tried like a couple other people. I guess that didn't work. So now they're getting the streamers involved to go to Africa. I mean, America is losing its mind, y'all. Like they are really doing a real big psyop and propaganda.
Now, look, I hate to break this up, but we need you guys I need you to make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you hadn't already, hit the number 1 button, hit the like button, subscribe to Matt. Don't hit the like, don't forget the number 1 button, hit the subscribe button. I need you all to hit the subscribe button right now. And the other thing is, make sure you hit the like button. And if you learned something, I'm sure you guys learned a little history about the Black Panther Party. You learned something about the Deacons of Defense down in Bogalusa. You learning stuff. So make sure if you learn something, I should earn something. All right. In addition to that, if you've been involved in a car accident, go ahead and hit me up at 713-229-0770. I'm based in Houston, Texas. Clearly, I'm not making a whole lot of money on YouTube. I'm enjoying myself. This is actually entirely too much fun that I'm having with you guys. But I still need to make sure I keep my day job, because I don't want y'all to, Rashad Ricky me, do me like y'all did Dr. Umar Johnson, because they relied too heavily on you all. So I ain't never gonna quit my day job for y'all. I just let you know now, I will never give up practicing law to be a full-time YouTubeist. Okay, so you need to all help me keep my business and my daytime business going on. So make sure you hit me up at 713-229-0770. I'm truly one of the best lawyers in the country at what I do, and my reputation precedes me. Feel free to Google me. I got plenty of recommendations online. Hit me up at 713-229-0770. I actually have several people on this broadcast who follow me on a regular basis who have utilized my services. The other thing is, if you need a consultation, you want to talk about something, a variety of different things, whether it's forming a business, whether you need some consultation related to, different aspects, legal stuff, just hit me up too. You can book a session at spurlingdennis@gmail.com. That's spurlingdennis@gmail.com. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get back and look
on us, because we're delineating and we're not fighting for these people. They don't know what to do.
They don't know.
They have no idea what to do. I think what's happening partly is, I think the Republicans want an excuse to bear down on us.
They do, and we won't give it to them. And I'm gonna explain why later. They want to they like, what we'll do is we'll start doing stuff, and then the blacks will come out, and then we'll have a reason to crack down on them. And black people like, no, we're not. We good. We at home sipping tea with Uncle D. Somebody type sipping tea with Uncle D. And we're not coming out to play this week. Okay. So that's what's going on. They really want us. They want to invoke some sort of anger out of it, and it's just not working. And I'm going to explain that a little bit later on. The link is in the chat room. You guys make sure, if you want to come in and make a comment on this POC party situation, hit me up.
They want an excuse to bear down on us. Okay. Like, I feel like the Republicans are like, they're itching. They can legally go after the immigrants, right? They can legally go after them, but they can't really legally go after us, though they want to, because that would tie them up in courts and we could sue and all types of stuff. So I feel like in order for them to kind of get the situation under control, if we fight on behalf of other people that's illegal, then they have grounds to come after us. Okay, so that's step one. I think that's step one. I think that's what's going on. I think step two is the Democrats look very, very, very weak right now. Like super weak, super inept. And they keep complaining about what the Republicans are doing, but yet they're not doing anything. And that's raising questions too. Because it's like, okay, if you're supposed to be against these people and you're supposed to be fighting for us, how come you keep losing over and over again? How come you're not doing anything? Which kind of highlights the fact that all these people are in bed together, which I've been saying, which almost all of us knew. These people always been in bed together, always. And now that we're out of the equation and we're not fighting for all these dang on groups anymore, things are starting to, like, the mask has fallen off, and people are like, whoa, like.
Yeah, see, the thing you got to understand is oftentimes this country uses strife or anger directed at black people to cause it to come together. You see, when the country is divided, guess what they do? We just fought this civil war. Let's go ahead and bear down on these black people over here. We'll just end that whole Reconstruction thing, and we'll give them 100 years of Jim Crow, and then we'll get unified based on that. Or after the civil rights movement, we'll flood their communities with dope, and we'll come up with something called tough on crime, and we'll put them all in jail, and that way we can come together under that. We'll get some tough talking weirdo from California, Reagan, and we'll let him talk tough, and then that'll bring white people together, or the racists amongst them together. And it's not working because we're not fighting back. You see what I'm saying? We are not fighting back, and it's messing up their game plan. This is not calculated. But let's keep listening. Hit the number 1 button.
Look, I don't know who the hell these people are in this picture, but this is not the Black Panther Party.
It ain't.
This is some sort of alternative COINTELPRO style Captain Saberho Black immigrant Panther Party, but it's not the Black Panther Party. I'm not even really sure why they're even using that as their name. I don't know where this dude came from. He's talking about how we fight for all oppressed groups. It just seemed like they just kind of popped up out of nowhere and decided to use the Black Panther Party, which I find very, very ironic. Yeah. I mean, like, given like the delineation and all of that has been discussed over these last several months, I just find that to be very interesting that they decided to.
It's almost like they just making up stuff. They don't know what to do to get us off the fence. They don't know how do we get. I mean, what do? We lynched a couple of black students down in Mississippi. They didn't come out to riot. We've been saying the N-word all on the internet for weeks and months now, and they're not outraged. We don't know what to do. We can't seem to get them to come to the forefront. They just frustrated. They don't know. They don't get it. But let's
pop up out of nowhere with that name, and their plight has absolutely nothing to do with black people, but yet they're calling themselves the new Black Panther Party. There is a very obvious collective effort to drag Black American people specifically into the fight to help illegal immigrants stay in the country. It's pretty obvious at this point that this is a actual thing. Like, they actually want us to fight on behalf of illegal immigrants, not just of immigrants, illegal immigrants. Yep. Like, this almost kind of feels like a PR move that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, on behalf of Black America, to say, no, guys, look, no, we're in support of illegal immigration, guys. Look, with the Black Panther movement, we fight for all oppressed peoples all around the world. Just ignore this whole delineation thing. We fight for everybody. Like, well, what the hell is that? What is this about? We didn't ask for nobody to come in to step in.
Comment. They said they didn't expect black people to stand down to the ICE agent.
Look, those aren't the real Black Panther Party. They are agents of chaos paid by the opposition to get black people into the mess because they didn't expect black people. So even the white folk think something suspicious about this.
How the fuck can I ignore this comment? They said they didn't expect black people to stand down to the ICE agents. They were trying to start FEMA camps. How could I ignore this? This is what I love. This is the top comment on my video that I made about. I seen a video talking about the Black Panther Party were in Philadelphia because ICE agents were planning to come to Philadelphia. There were places all over the city, unmarked vans, blacked out, popping up all over the city. This person said this. It makes sense. It makes sense. I also thought that the Black Panther Party that was the one in Philly, or that I keep seeing videos, I thought it was fake CIA agents pretending to be that. And this is so I made a video.
Right. Let's think about that.
Video about it, but I didn't say that. This is the first comment that's on the top of my video. I'm so glad that somebody said this.
Yeah.
So glad that somebody said this. This is the conversations that I want to be having. The more we're aware, the more our eyes are open, the more we see what's going on.
Yeah, we can tell.
What do you guys think about this?
Y'all keep listening. I think it's suspicious.
I'm just talking about wait till ICE come after me because I'm next. Let me just say this, bro. Say it with your chest. Because that's not what you really want to say. Man and woman, both of y'all been saying. You want me to be next. You hope I'm next. It's an indirect threat. You try to hide behind the wait till ICE come after you. That's not what you really want to say. You hope I'm next.
They do.
So I'm gonna let that indirect threat slide because I really think it pisses y'all off that it's literally impossible for me to be next. I think it pisses y'all off that I'm just not in that situation. But the indirect threats.
Who saw me say the things I did about the Black Panthers, and their response was, this isn't the Black Panthers that we know from history, or this isn't the same Black Panthers, and, I just want you to make the distinction between the two, or whatever, yada, yada. Here's the thing. My problem with the Black Panthers isn't this dude, it's the Rainbow Coalition, the multiculturalism idea that they used, that was used to dismantle subsequently every other black movement. You want to know who created it? That dude didn't create that. Huey created that. When the Black Panthers showed
and it was a mistake
up, Huey was the one who said multiculturalism. Huey was the one who wanted a Rainbow Coalition. That's a problem. It was flawed from the start.
So the fact that this new Black Panther gentleman is trying to get us to rely on Huey P. Newton's rhetoric at the time, which turned out to be a mistake and provided an easy access to those federal agents and outsiders to come in, is the lesson that we learn. So him relying on that, even if it is true, we don't care. You see, we realized a long time ago that for the most part, our best chance is just go with what we know, with our own, and let other people handle their own business. And it took us a long time to learn that lesson.
Some would say it was infiltrated from the start. Listen, history is not out on Huey. History is not out on Huey. On if or if not, he had someone behind the scenes that fed him that idea that would eventually destroy us.
Yep.
Here's the thing about black movements that I got a problem.
Keep in mind, like I said earlier, the Black Panther Party was heavily infiltrated. So you don't know who was in his ear, who he had come to trust, who thought, hey, this is a good idea. And it didn't work out like that. Hit the #1 button, and you guys make sure you hit the subscribe button if you hadn't. Shout out to everybody who's contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Again, you don't owe me anything unless you learn something. And that's the only way I should earn something. Let's keep pushing. We got a few more. We got a couple more, and then we're going to start letting some people in. But I want to run through about a few more of these videos to lay the context. We'll talk to some folks. If you want to come in, go ahead and hit the link, and let's keep it pushing.
We have a reverence, black people. We have a reverence for all of these black movements in history, right? This fanciful idea of every single black movement in history. And we got to drop that, because not every movement was for us. Not every black movement was for us, even if they explicitly said they were.
Yeah.
We can see in the results, historically, what actually happened, right? Just because you fed a couple people on the block, just because you were passing out food in the winter to homeless black people, doesn't mean that subsequently, because of your movement, other black movements weren't dismantled. If you ask me, that is more important than Meemaw getting some chicken.
There it is. I mean, that's the head up. Thank you so much, brother. Let's keep it pushing. We got a couple more videos. I do want to let you all know there are some people who are pushing the opposite. Let's listen to this.
Short and sweet, because of course, here we go with this comment. Oh, do you know that some of the people that were in the Black Panther were mixed with white and black? Duh. But do you want to know why they were mixed?
Why?
Because their mothers and their grandmothers and their sisters and their aunts were raped by their slave masters.
Okay.
And they ended up having mixed children.
Okay. And
so they were mixed by.
So you saying the people who were not. What you're trying to say, ma'am, is that the phenotypical, or would I say the black people who didn't look more like sub-Saharan African or have more typical Negro features, who were in the Black Panther Party, all of their female relatives were raped And even though the Black Panther Party popped up in 1966, you said all of them could trace their history back to one individual that was great. You're saying there was no mixture of individuals going on in California at that time in 1960s, a time of love and sex and free love and lots of weed going on over there. That's what you're trying to say. Okay, we'll take that point. Let's move it forward. Hit the number one.
Force, not by choice. So that's not a brag.
Okay.
That's not a brag at all. That's just reminding them that their mother was taken advantage of. And you're also reminding them of what that white man did to their mother. So you tell me, if they joined the Black Panther, it wasn't for to protect the white man. And that's how they got here. And the reason why they joined the Black Panther Party is to prevent more shit like that happening. That's the only mixed race that you can consider was in the Black Panther. See, y'all think y'all are so smart with these roundabout ass questions and these roundabout ass comments, but y'all don't know who the fuck y'all fucking with.
Ma'am.
I got it for your ass.
Ma'am, you are very aggressive with the language, but I mean, I was trying to roll with you. I want you to go ahead and go back to where you were and get some more of that backyard boogie from underneath that that cookie can underneath your mattress, underneath your bed, and you go chill out because you need to go on back to wherever you can. It's taking a little too long to land that plane, but we got some others just like it. Let's listen to this one. Let's listen to this young man.
So I see I'm gonna have to talk to y'all like y'all little children, and I'm the teacher.
Really?
Let me learn y'all something real quick.
Learn us something then, baby.
When the Black Panthers organization first started in Oakland in the 1960s, it was an all-black organization for copper-colored people only. That was the main goal in the beginning. But us being big-hearted people and caring about everybody else and saw that other races were being treated unfairly also,
Who else was here in 1966? Because as I recall, the Hart-Celler Immigration Act was enacted in 1965. So who else exactly was here when we were getting brutalized by the police? But go ahead. I'm gonna let you continue. I'm speaking out loud.
We came together with their groups that they have already created in amongst their race.
Who? You mean like LULAC? LULAC said that they didn't want to help the Negro. They called us Negroes back there. I don't think. What group are you talking about? Because it wasn't a lot of Asians and the Mexicans weren't interested in our help. As a matter of fact, they were trying to fight to be white. So what are you talking about, baby girl? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You follow my drift?
No, I'm not following your drift.
And they came together.
No, they didn't.
But nobody from other races literally joined the Black Panther Party, was in the Black Panther Party. The only people who called themselves Black Panthers and were in the Black Panther organization were only copper-colored people.
No, I think black, because that's why they call themselves the Black Panthers, because they were black. Okay, they didn't call themselves the Zebras, the Zebra Party of Self-Defense. They were the Black Panther Party of Self-Defense because they were black. Okay, let's stay focused, ma'am.
They just created allies and came together to help other races with their problems, even though we still had our own problems. Maybe that's the reason why we still in the situation and in the place that we're in right now, because we were.
You ever heard somebody who's trying to sound and like they elevated with their thought process and they've given us a lot of thought, and then it's just like then you can actually see them thinking as they're speaking. That's kind of how this comes off to me a little bit.
Too busy helping everybody else like we always fucking do and putting ourselves on the back burner.
I'm gonna just go ahead and.
Do y'all understand now? Because I'm tired of y'all keep telling me something. No, there were people of a different race in the Black Panther Party.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, baby. You did good. You did good. Now it's time to bring some people in here. Anybody who wants to join the chat room, I want to go ahead and get y'all up in here If you want to talk about it, we're gonna bring folk in one at a time. So first up, we want to bring a gentleman there. I'm assuming, I'm not sure what your name is, but we'll go ahead and call you Marlon Speaks, because I'm assuming I'm taking a wild guess.
Yeah.
Marlon Speaks. What's up? Welcome to the broadcast.
What's going on, bro?
I'm doing great, man. What are your thoughts on this interesting event that has occurred regarding the new Black Panther Party out of Philadelphia? So what are your thoughts?
Well, my initial thought, you kind of said everything I was thinking. That's why I wanted to jump on here. I'm like, wow, like you said it all. Like it feel like they trying to pull us into some kind of race war, bro. You know, I work with a lot of racist people, and they've been talking about race war forever.
Yeah.
So I feel like that guy and a lot of them other non-black people, non-black Americans, I feel like they might be some plants, like to try to pull us into the bull crap. They
acting as a catalyst for some sort of conflict or some reason, some pretextual reason to, target Black Americans. Yeah, man. But go ahead, bro.
They don't they have no accountability. So they, everything our fault all throughout history in this country. They have no accountability. So, when you have no accountability, it progressed. It progressed to the point to where you have a reprobate mind, to the point to where you move with impunity, and it's like a abusive husband. He want to blame everything on his wife. Everything his wife's fault.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I think that what's going to happen is they're going to have to change their tactic, but I don't think they're anywhere near where they need to get to provoke the majority of Black Americans to get outraged, to come out and help protest against the deportation of illegal immigrants, especially considering the manner of communication that we have in YouTube. We communicate, we talk about the anti-Black racism practiced by many of these people from these different cultures, including the Africans, like, for instance, the Somalis, who've been Black all the way up until now. They apparently are Black again since they are being targeted. I'm gonna get somebody else in there. We got Devin Lockett coming in there. I'm gonna get my man Devin Lockett.
Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Thank you too, brother.
Martin Luther King Day, brothers.
All right, Marlon, Devin Lockett, what do you think about this? Good seeing you here always, man. What do you think about this? I mean, you're a military guy.
Yes, sir.
And when I look at this, I don't know. I don't know what this guy is, man. But what are your thoughts on this whole this fiasco with this Philadelphia Black Panther?
Yo, man, this Puerto Rican dude looks like an agent to me. You know what I mean? He's making the light-skinned brothers look bad. All right. He's trying.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He's soft. He's a Drake. He's a soft one. And last week he was calling himself a blood. Yo, man, this has COINTELPRO written all over it. This has agent written all over it. I'm so proud of my people having delineated and not falling for this. I am so proud that we are in unison clowning this dude on a daily basis, man. ICE is not our problem.
No, it's not our problem.
We're American.
Yeah, it is not our problem. On top of that, like I said, I think one of the main red flags for me is the fact that he's 38 years old. And anybody you almost 40 years old, brother. You a couple of years away from, getting your AARP card. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are you doing? Why are you should be focused on your pre-arthritic medication and making sure your blood pressure and your sugar is low. That's what you need to do. You out here with a rifle walking through the street, with the little with the police follow behind you. I just find that suspicious. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, bro. What are your thoughts more so on, maybe you could share a little bit more of your thoughts of why him being a member, active. This looks like recent. You are on a blood gang. You're throwing up gang signs with known gang members. And now you're heading a major unit of the Black Panther Party? Like, I mean, where's the transition? How'd that happen? I mean, it's not like a job application. Go ahead.
He's like a crisis actor, man. He's like one of those crisis actors. He always shows up when there's some bullcorn going on. And I would question his associations because I know that he was placed there by somebody to try to convince Black Americans to join in the fight against ICE, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, seems pretty suspicious to me. Brother, I'm going to go ahead and I appreciate you, man. I'm going to go ahead and get back to the broadcast. Thank you so much, Devin.
Black American.
All right, man. Cool. So anyway, I think it's pretty fair to say that a lot of Black people see this for what it is. And so I want to go ahead and try to put this all into context because I think it needs to be voiced and actually stated clearly. So here's the thing. And you guys make sure you hit the #1 button and shout out to everybody who came through to the broadcast. I certainly appreciate everybody who came through. And what I'm going to do at this point is just kind of go ahead and try to bring this thing on home. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opportunity to read the super chats. We got 8 super chats. I want to give a big shout out to Generation Malcolm X, paying my tuition. Salute to the family, B1. Also, Kenneth William, 3932 for content. Thank you so much, family. Also, Urban Eagle, 3114. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. We got Red Dragon K6R. That guy is a suspect as a $3 bill. Are there any Black people who's falling for this okie doke? Are there any Black people who think this dude is legit? If you think he's legit, please join the chat and let me know. Blue Bag is the chairman. Fred Hampton did not envision this crap for the Black Panther Party. John Smith, or 8RH. They're still trying to use 1960s infiltration tactics in 2026. Yeah, we're not that unified anymore, and we're dispersed. That's another thing. Godless 910, Gifted 5 Dennis Spurling podcast membership, and Captain Obvious. Thank you so much. 7168. So we got 8 super chats. Thank you so much. That is great. You guys are awesome. It'd have been great to get 10 super chats. Maybe we'll get 2 more before we go. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's contributed to the Cash App also. Let me see here. The Cash App. We got some folks here who came through, and we got, let's see here. I want to make sure I give it. George, thank you so much, George. And also, my man George said, I learned something. Thank you so much, George. And Obajah, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Good looking out. Oh, we got one more super chat. Let me see here. We got one more super chat. B Hunter, we are learning something today on MLK Day. Yeah, it is MLK Day, man. You know what I'm saying? And I actually want to take the opportunity to play this video. I hope I don't get struck, but I just thought this was quite unique and just beautiful. Y'all kick back.
Who shot you? People know the Biggie and the Pac stuff. Cool, yeah. But what happened to the doctor? King standing on the balconies with a dream when they robbed us. Saying
now that's dope. I don't know if I'm gonna get copyright strikes.
James Ray, that's obvious. No, stop it.
Yeah.
King was a young revolutionary.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually upload this to my I'm gonna upload this to my Instagram page because I don't want any issues from a copyright strike or anything like that, because that sounds remarkably similar to Biggie Smalls and Who Shot You, and it might get a copyright strike, so I don't want any issues, but I'll go ahead and upload that to Instagram. But yeah, it's MLK Day, man, and I hope you guys have taken the opportunity to reflect on the brilliance of Dr. Martin Luther King, and don't just settle for what they talk about. Shout out to Yaya's kids. Thank you so much for the $20 super sticker, Yaya. But don't rely so much on what they tell you about Dr. Martin Luther King in the in your textbooks. Okay, go and learn for yourself. Okay, all right. That's what I want you to do. Go and learn for yourself, man. Because I have a book of his writings. And I found it quite intriguing that most of what we know about Dr. King has been watered down tremendously. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Let me see here. Let me run it like this, man. And I know we got people. We got 11 super chats. Oh wow, cool. That's cool. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll get to 15, but only if you learn something. You don't owe me anything. Man. What raises some serious red flags for many of us, especially those of us who know people who have direct lineage to the Black Panther Party and the children of the former Panthers, who grew up inside the movement. They're publicly saying that they don't know who this man is, right? And they don't stand behind what he's saying. And that matters to me, and it should matter to you. The Black Panther Party was not some loose brand that anyone could just pick up. Okay, it was discipline. It was the organization with a clear mission. It had an internal structure and it had accountability. And threatening federal agents. You heard this dude say, "Man, ICE agents run up on me, man." Nah, dog, you out here citing commercial jingles. You're not to be taken seriously. Again, the Panthers fed children through breakfast programs. They monitored police activity. They protected the community. They ran drug dealers out the Black community. They focused on building and protecting and stabilizing Black life, not grandstanding or making reckless threats that would bring federal heat down on everybody around them. So when a man just seems to pop up out of nowhere, claiming that mantle, talking in a way that the original Panthers never talked, and engaging in behavior that puts other people at risk, it naturally makes me pause. And I don't know if this is a 38-year-old man trying to reinvent himself, trying to find purpose, or trying to redefine who he is. I also don't know if this is someone who hadn't been compromised by the legal system, who's dealing with probation or parole or pressure from law enforcement and trying to work off something. And I'm not making that claim. I'm saying I don't know. And neither do most Black people. And that uncertainty alone is enough to trigger caution. And the real question is not whether someone can talk tough or wear the right symbols. The real question is, do you trust him enough to risk your life by marching next to him? Do you trust him enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with him for a cause you don't even support, namely ICE deporting illegal immigrants? Are you kidding me? And people that consistently practice anti-Black racism and have deliberately separated themselves from foundational Black Americans and our causes and never show up. They never show up for us when we needed support. Right? Now, see, as I said that, I already know what many of you all are saying. I already know. When I say they never showed up for, what's the first thing they've been saying? Well, everybody was out for George Floyd. You see? That's what you're going to say. So let's slow this down and let me talk about, because I've been meaning to say this for what's really going on and what was really going on at that time. We were in the middle of the COVID lockdowns, which started in March of 2020. And so by the middle of that month, states across the country shut down everything. Schools were closed, businesses were closed, people couldn't travel. You had millions of folks either lost their jobs or they're stuck working from home. And so normal life stopped almost overnight. People were sitting in their houses day after day with nowhere to go and nothing to do. Folks was frustrated, they were restless, and they were tired of being cooped up. And then on May 25th, 2020, George Floyd gets unalived by the Minneapolis cop who, when we watched it, watch him get his neck knelt on for 9 minutes, and the video was everywhere. And so the next day, you got these spontaneous protests, and they started in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Within a few days, they spread all over the country and even overseas. And it moved fast. And by early June, especially around June 6th, you had protests happening in hundreds of cities, more than 550 across the U.S. But here's the part people leave out. This was all happening right in the middle of the lockdowns. People have been stuck in the house for weeks. You dealing with them bad kids, okay? You dudes couldn't go see your side chicks. You women couldn't go get your medicine. You sitting at the house drunk, stuck with your husbands and your girlfriends. You understand? You weren't working. There are no concerts. There's no sports, no church service, no social life. The protest became like the first big reason people had to leave the house and be around other people. They feel like something. Basically it just turned into a big outing. Y'all wanted to go outside. Yeah, it was a party, you know? So yeah, a lot of people showed up. And again, some people were honestly upset about police violence. Some really cared about injustice, but a whole lot of people were just out because they were bored and tired of being locked down and looking for a reason to go outside. Look, fam, y'all know I'm telling the truth. And it's not an insult. That's just real life, because people like to remember that time. They like to remember the George Floyd protests and how big they were, but they forget the whole world was locked down. You see what I'm saying? So you got to put it in context. The whole world was locked down. People didn't have anything to do. And this is a reason to go do. Are we going outside? Many of you couldn't even tell you who George Floyd was, where it happened, what day it happened. Okay, or what laws changed, or what laws we wanted to change. Some folk didn't even know what kicked it off. The size of the protest had as much to do with the pandemic situation as it did with the incident itself. You also hear people talk about things like Antifa when they brung up those protests. And we need to be clear about that. Antifa had nothing to do with George Floyd. That's a whole different organization. They just jumped in. You understand? They don't have a headquarters, a membership, none of that. These folks just jumped in. You have folks who just jumped in, and the crowds grew bigger. They couldn't even identify what they were out there with. And then, but federal law enforcement has said the federal law enforcement just assumed it was all for George Floyd. Those protests were all over the place with all kind of people out there for all kind of reasons. So when someone says everybody was out doing George Floyd, shout out to John Smith. We got 12 super chats. Let's get 15. But again, when somebody says they were out there for George Floyd, when we say nobody's ever been out there for us, they're talking about a very specific moment in time, a moment created by lockdowns, nonstop media coverage, boredom and frustration, and people needing somewhere to go when they didn't have anywhere to go. And that moment happened in spring and summer of 2020. There's been plenty of black folk that have been unalive since then. But because those conditions don't exist like that today, they ain't coming out. They're not coming out. Yes. Some people were sincere, and some people were truly angry, mostly us. But the massive turnout doesn't mean there was some deep, long-term commitment to foundational Black American issues. And for a lot of people, it was just a break from being stuck inside. And that's why this situation right now is different. That's why people are asking a simple question today. Where did this new leader come from, and why should we trust him with our lives? Now, what people are going to have to understand is this, and I want y'all to listen to me, all right? Black people have changed. And for me, during my lifetime, I can trace it back to 2012. At that point, we had already made history. We had the first Black president. He had his Black wife with some beautiful Black children, okay? Many of y'all stood up and cried like I did when he got sworn in. I promise the President of the United States. We all cried. We didn't. Don't lie now. You know I'm telling you, 2008, man, you standing up looking like that's the Black president. Oh my God. You see what I'm saying? You call it, I told you, right? We couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I mean, that was the highest level of progress. 2008, and then 2012 rolls around. A little black boy named Trayvon Martin was shot and killed in the street, walking home from the corner store. Many of us did 100 times if we did it once. And he wasn't even shot by a cop. He was shot by a racist vigilante. And instead of protecting that black child, the entire media machine turned on him and they painted him as a criminal. Not because the boy did anything wrong, but because he had a hoodie on. And what was the response from our so-called black president? The most he could say, Trayvon Martin could be my son. That was it. That was it. Keep in mind, this is the same president who told us he couldn't do anything specifically for black people. That's what he said, right? Couldn't do anything for black people. He did something for the LGBT community. He did something from the immigrant community, the Latino community, the Native American community. Did a lot for women. Couldn't do anything for black people. See, we had read him and thought he was, communicating with us like we normally do, winking the side eye, yeah, I'm gonna hook you up in the back. And the hookup never came. We voted for him in astronomical numbers, like never seen before. And so it was at that moment that something clicked. You understand? There was apathy, yes, but more than that, there was finality. Because if the president of the United States is a black man and he can't protect a little black boy, then what are we really talking about here? What higher leader are we supposed to wait on if a black president imbued with all the power in the world, the most powerful man in the world, you don't believe he's powerful? Look at what Donald Trump is doing. Congress be damned. He's doing what we wanted Barack Obama to do for us. But if a black president can't do anything, then Malcolm and Martin and Mega, everybody else, we already know how that story ends. We were holding them, and we wanted too much. But if the president of the United States is a black man and he can't or won't do anything, then poor brother Malcolm or Martin, and none of them could do it. Nothing they can do. And that was the turning point. That's when black people stopped believing in leaders. That's when we stopped believing politics was going to save us. That's when we stopped believing marching was going to change our lives. From that point on, most black folks went their own way. And now here we are. America is tearing itself apart at the seams again. And suddenly, everybody wants black people back in the street. They want us to come out so they can vent their anger and release their frustration. And somehow bond by watching black bodies suffer. See, they're rioting again. They're not protesting. They're looters. They're thugs. That's always been part of the show. The tear gas, the batons, the headlines, the bloodshed. It makes folk feel better seeing something happen to us. It's a way in which they're able to vent their rage and frustration with the system. It's a big show. It's the carnival. It's the Coliseum. Watching black bodies be brutalized. So can you imagine the great disappointment that they have because we're not doing that anymore? We staying at the house. We're not coming outside. Not for that. I'm going to see Patti LaBelle with my green alligator shoes on. I damn sure ain't going up to Minnesota to protest or walk around with some fool with a rifle. No. Let me be clear, and I think I can speak on behalf of most black people right now, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? It wouldn't matter who the leader was. Let me say it like this, just so you all know I'm not biased against this young man. Huey P. Newton can come back from the dead, walk hand in hand with Martin Luther King, and meet with Jesus Christ, and I'm telling you, and they could all come together and say, black folk, come out here and vote, support the M. We ain't coming. We are not going to do it. That's not a cause we believe in. We're done being emotional shock troops for everybody else. And some of y'all don't understand that yet. You keep asking, why won't black people follow? Because we're not looking for leaders anymore. You shot and killed all our leaders. We've learned to live without our leaders. We operate on a code now, a code that you're not going to be able to break. It's a spiritual code. Something told me. Finish the sentence. Something told me. And I sure am glad I listened. See, something told us, nah, we're not getting in this. After November of 2024, most black people said, all right, I'm going to sit down. Not sit down, I'm going to sit down. Shout out to Solo Dolo, I'm going to sit down. And we've been sitting down since then. We're done. Look, whoever you voted for, some of us voted for a certain candidate because we just wanted to see the chaos. We just wanted everybody else to get a taste of what we was dealing with. In addition, it was good for some of our pocketbooks. Some of us sincerely wanted some of us sincerely wanted Kamala Harris to become the first, quote unquote, alleged black woman to be president of the United States. Some of us sincerely did. But I'm gonna just ask y'all a question. You know, if you voted for her, just ask, would you eat her collard greens? That's the question I have. You voted for her, but would you eat her collard? Would you eat out of her kitchen knowing that she washed them collard greens in the tub? Okay, with that little dirty ring. Ain't no, I'm just saying, I mean, you do what you do. But bottom line is, we voted. America decided to go another way. The majority of Latino men voted for Trump. The majority of white men voted for Trump. White women voted for Trump. Even these Somalians and Muslims voted for Trump. You understand what I'm saying? And most black people's like, no, I'm good. You understand? I'm just saying. And now you want black people to go out and help you do what? You want us to stand in front of the cannons and the rifles and the guns while they round you up and send you home? Well, that's what they expected. They expected us to continue doing what we've been doing, being the sacrificial lambs. But we're not going to do it anymore. We're done. And at this point, black people are going to do the bare minimum politically. Some of us will vote. Some of us won't. The midterms are coming up. Some of us will be motivated to vote for Democrat. Some of us will be motivated to go vote for Republican. Some of us are going to stay on the couch. Some of us might even vote for an alternative party. But again, on this page over here with me, I tell you to vote your interest. That's the only advice I'm going to give you. For example, if you're a school teacher and you being supported by unions, you need to go ahead and vote for the Democrat Party. If you are if you're a business owner and you want low taxes, you need to vote for the Republican Party. If you don't like any one of these folk, you think it's all trash, you're not motivated to vote, and they're not offering you any tangibles, you're welcome to sit on home at the house. You can sit this one out. Sitting on the couch is an expression of your political will also. And don't let anybody punk you into believing that you got to vote for either one of these folks if it's not in your interest to do it. If they don't motivate you to get up and go and put your shoes on and go wait in a 3 or 4 hour line, that's their fault. But either way, most of us would be sitting back watching the play-by-play because we realize something important. Nothing we do in the streets has changed our position. Nothing we do in the streets has changed our position because all the progress we made in the 1950s and the 1960s, they just wiped it away with a pen, didn't they? Various legislation and judgment, etc., it's all gone. Now, if you really want to know what would move black people collectively, and I'm talking about foundational black American people, it's not going to be another leader. It's going to be our interest. And the main interest is simple. Many of us want reparations. We want something real. We want something tangible. We want some cash payments. And it might not just be reparations. There's some other things that we want, but you're not going to sell us on health care. Healthcare is great, but that's not an issue. You're definitely not going to sell us on baby deletions, the right to have baby deletions. What do we need that for? Give us something that's real to us. And let me tell you something else. Fish fries and cookouts, that's not going to get us to vote for you. You see? But it's guarding something tangible or we know that they're not going to give that to us anytime soon. Matter of fact, the Democrats have said it out loud. And all these leaked emails and whatnot, that I believe it was WikiLeaks. They specifically said their strategy for black people is to empathize with us, black people, smile, say the right words, but promise us nothing. And that's been the policy for years. The game is up. Our collective conscience has shifted. We told you we were resting, and we meant it. And so for the foreseeable future, that's where we are. And no matter how many videos go viral, no matter how many black people get unalived by police, no matter who's in the White House, we're not banging our head against bricks and walls anymore. We're not dodging tear gas anymore. Y'all on your own. I want to thank you all for joining this broadcast. I hope that you've learned something. Even if you didn't learn something, I'll try harder next time. But if you did learn something, I should earn something. But if you can't contribute, that's fine. You don't owe me anything. But I do ask you all to please subscribe to the channel, because I'm sure a lot of people did learn something. If y'all learned something, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm marching my way to 100,000. I think I deserve that 100,000 subscriber plaque. I've been working hard on this for many years. I like to give you all good quality things. I put my nice suit on when I'm talking to you. You see, I'm well prepared. I enjoy your company. I hope you enjoy me. And I'd like to acknowledge this birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I want you all to understand something. Let me say it like this before I conclude. Dr. Martin Luther King was a young man. Dr. Martin Luther King was a young man, and he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. You see, he had a lot of burdens to deal with. And he died. He was born in 1929 and he died in 1968. He was only 39 years old. Young man. He died one of the most hated men in the world, in America at the time. And so I ask you to give him grace for anything you may hear about what he was doing. Most of that stuff happened when he was in his 20s. You see, if it's true, if it's not, I don't know. But the bottom line is, man, that brother was eloquent. He was brilliant. He was beautiful. Don't let them try to assassinate our leader's character. Don't allow these people to destroy this great man's legacy, because that's what they do. They build you up, they tear you down. On this great day. And I don't really have anything else to say. I want to shout out to everybody who contributed to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. We got a couple more that came through when I was leaving. We got 14 Super Chats. Maybe somebody will give me 15, and that'll be great. If you learn something, don't give me anything you didn't learn anything. But other than that, I thank you all. I appreciate you all. Please subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Hit the like button. And also make sure you tune in tomorrow, and I will see you guys then. At this time, as I always say, I'm out.
Dennis Spurling Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe.